Hi guys, today I'm going to tell you a funny and quirky story about a couple named Frederick and Catherine. It's full of silly mishaps and unexpected turns that will keep you entertained and maybe even teach you a little lesson by the end. Now, have you ever wondered how things can go hilariously wrong when someone doesn't think things through? Well, you're about to find out. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the story of Frederick and Catherine. Long ago, there was a man named Frederick and his wife, Catherine. They were newly married and living in a quiet village. Frederick was a hardworking man, but Catherine often found herself in some rather strange situations. One day, Frederick prepared to head out to work in the fields. He spoke to his wife before leaving.
Kate, I'm off to the fields. When I return, I'll be hungry. Please have something nice cooked and ready, and don't forget a good draught of ale.
Very well, Frederick. It shall all be ready.
Catherine wanted to make sure everything was perfect. As noon approached, she placed a juicy steak on the fire, and soon enough, the delicious smell filled the kitchen. But just as the steak was turning golden brown,
The steak is almost ready. I'll go fetch the ale from the cellar now.
Catherine hurried off to the cellar, leaving the steak sizzling on the fire. Down she went and tapped the ale cask. But as she filled the jug, she suddenly remembered.
Ooh, oh no, the dog! The dog might be stealing the steak.
Up she ran back to the kitchen, but alas, she was too late. There was the dog, steak in its mouth, dashing out of the house. Without thinking, Catherine raced after the dog across the field.
Hey, come back! Oh no, it's gone. Well, what can't be cured must be endured.
Catherine gave up on the chase and returned home. Little did she know, while she was busy running after the dog, the ale in the cellar had been pouring non-stop. When she reached the cellar stairs, her eyes widened in horror. The floor was flooded with ale.
My stars, what shall I do now?
But Catherine had a plan. She remembered the sack of meal they had bought from the fair.
Oh, I'll sprinkle the meal on the floor. That'll soak it all up nicely.
But in her rush, she knocked over the jug of ale, and now there was a bigger mess. The cellar floor was swimming in a mix of ale and flour.
Well, at least the cellar looks clean now, I think.
When Frederick came home, he looked around and asked eagerly.
Now, wife, what's for dinner?
Well, Frederick, there was a steak, but the dog took it. And the ale. Well, that ran out. Then I tried to clean it up with the sack of meal, but I spilled the ale again. But don't worry, the cellar is now quite dry and it looks so clean.
Kate, oh, Kate, what have you done?
Frederick could hardly believe what he was hearing.
I've got some gold in the house, Kate. I'm going to bury it in the garden. Don't touch it, understand?
Yes, I won't touch it.
But as soon as Frederick left, a group of peddlers passed by.
Fine plates and dishes for sale. Will you buy?
Oh, I'd love to buy some, but I have no money. Wait, there are some yellow buttons buried in the garden. You can dig them up yourself.
The peddlers dug up the gold while Catherine watched. In exchange, they left her with a collection of plates and dishes. When Frederick returned,
Kate, what have you done with my gold?
I didn't touch it. The peddlers dug it up themselves. Look at all the lovely plates and dishes they gave us.
Frederick groaned, knowing once again that his wife had made a mess of things. But Catherine, ever optimistic, suggested they chase after the thieves to get their gold back.
Let's go after them, Frederick. We'll get the gold back. And I'll bring butter and cheese for the journey.
Catherine and Frederick set off to look for the thieves, but Frederick walked faster and soon left Catherine behind. As he trudged along, Catherine came to a hill with a narrow path where the cart wheels chaffed the trees as they passed by.
Oh dear, look at those poor trees. The cartwheels have bruised and wounded them so badly. I must do something to help them.
Feeling sorry for the trees, Catherine took out the butter from her basket and began to grease the trees so the wheels wouldn't hurt them anymore. While doing this, one of her cheeses fell out of the basket and began rolling down the hill.
Oh no, my cheese. Where did it go? Well, I suppose the other one will want to follow it.
With that, she took the other cheese and sent it rolling after the first. Satisfied with her solution, Catherine carried on, thinking the cheeses would somehow find their way back to her. After a while, she caught up with Frederick, who asked for something to eat.
Kate, I'm hungry. Did you bring the butter and cheese?
Oh, Frederick. I used the butter to grease the trees so the wheels wouldn't hurt them, and one of the cheeses ran away. So I sent the other to go find it.
What a goose you are, Kate. How could you do such a foolish thing?
Well, Frederick, you never told me not to.
Frederick shook his head in disbelief at Catherine's antics, but there was no use in arguing. As they continued their journey, he suddenly remembered something.
Kate, I hope you locked the door before we left the house.
Lock the door? Oh dear, I didn't think of that, Frederick. You never told me to lock it.
Ah, go back at once and lock the door. And while you're at it, bring something for us to eat. Some butter, cheese, or whatever you can find.
Catherine, being her usual self, hurried back home just as Frederick had instructed her. She locked the back door, but something curious struck her. She stood in front of the door for a moment, deep in thought.
Frederick told me to lock the door, but surely it will be even safer if I take it with me.
Without hesitation, Catherine took the front door off its hinges, hoisted it over her shoulder, and began her journey back to Frederick. As she reached Frederick, her face brightened with pride as she shouted,
Frederick, look, I've brought the door. Now you can watch it carefully, and no one can get in the house.
Alas, what a clever wife I have. I sent you to lock the house, and you took the entire door so everyone can walk in and out as they please.
Well, Frederick, I thought it would be safer this way. Besides, I won't carry the door alone. I'll tie the nuts and vinegar bottle to it too. No sense in carrying everything separately.
And so, Catherine fastened the nuts and the vinegar to the door, and carried it with ease, as if this were the most natural solution. Frederick, shaking his head, gave up, trying to reason with her.
Well, since you brought it, you can carry the door, but let's keep looking for the thieves.
Catherine hoisted the door back onto her shoulder, and they both set off toward the woods in search of the thieves. As the day grew darker, they decided to spend the night in a tree. Frederick and Catherine settled themselves in the tree for the night. As they watched from above, they saw a group of men come and light a fire under the tree. These men were none other than the thieves they were looking for. Unaware of Frederick and Catherine's presence, the thieves sat down to rest and eat.
Look, Kate, it's the thieves who stole our gold. Stay quiet so they don't discover us.
Frederick quietly slipped down the other side of the tree and gathered some stones. He climbed back up and from his perch tried to throw the stones at the thieves. But the thieves, hearing the noise of the stones hitting the ground, only muttered to each other.
It must be close to morning. The fir apples are falling.
Meanwhile, Catherine, still holding the door, began to grow tired. The weight of it pressed heavily on her shoulders, and she thought it must be the bag of nuts that was making it so heavy.
Frederick, I must get rid of these nuts. They're making the door too heavy.
No, Kate, don't do that now. You'll give us away.
I can't help it. I'm too tired.
Ignoring Frederick's pleas, Catherine untied the bag of nuts and threw them down. One of the thieves looked up, startled.
Bless me, it's hailing.
A little while later, Catherine again felt the weight of the door pressing down on her. This time, she thought it must be the vinegar bottle.
Frederick, I'm going to drop the vinegar. It's too heavy.
Not now, Kate. You'll give us away.
I can't carry it any longer.
Before Frederick could stop her, Catherine poured the vinegar out. One of the thieves, feeling the drops, exclaimed,
What a heavy dew there is tonight.
Frederick was growing more and more frustrated. But Catherine wasn't done yet. She finally realized it was the door itself that was making everything so heavy.
I have to throw the door down. It's too much for me to carry.
Kate, no. That'll give us away for sure.
I can't hold it anymore. Here goes.
With that, Catherine let the door fall from the tree. It landed with a loud bang right in the middle of the thieves' camp.
Murder, murder! Something's falling from the sky!
Terrified, the thieves jumped up and grabbed whatever they could carry and fled into the night, leaving their loot behind. Frederick and Catherine climbed down from the tree and found all of their gold safe and sound.
Kate, despite all your silliness, we've got our gold back.
Well, Frederick, I knew it would work out in the end.
With their gold recovered, they returned home, Catherine still carrying the door all the way back. The end. So, how did you like the story? Pretty funny, right? Catherine's wild ideas definitely kept things interesting. But beyond the humor, there's a lesson here. Sometimes it's important to think things through before acting, and good communication can avoid a lot of trouble. Frederick and Catherine's story reminds us how easily things can go wrong when we're not careful or clear. Let me know what part made you laugh the most and what you learned from the story. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more fun stories. Bye!